Remote work promised freedom. No commute, flexible hours, work from anywhere. But for many, remote didn't mean free. It meant the office followed them home. The laptop never closes. The workday never ends. Flexibility became constant availability. This is the laptop trap. When remote work blurs boundaries until there's no separation between professional and personal life. Escaping it doesn't require quitting or burning bridges. It requires intentional boundaries, clear communication, and reclaiming control over when and how work happens. The goal isn't to reject remote work. It's to make it work sustainably. 1. The laptop became a leash. When work lives on a laptop, it quietly turns into a leash. You're not at work, but never fully off either. Messages bleed into evenings, tasks stretch into weekends, and because you can log in anytime, you're expected to. Freedom without boundaries isn't freedom. It's just work with better furniture. The problem isn't remote work itself. It's the illusion that flexibility means availability. That working from home means working all the time. The laptop becomes a portal that's always open, always demanding attention, always within reach. Physical offices had natural limits. Commute times, building hours, the simple act of leaving. Remote work erased those boundaries without replacing them. Now the workday expands to fill whatever space it's given. Early mornings, late nights, lunch breaks, weekends. The trap isn't about location. It's about the expectation that being reachable means being ready to work. That having the tools nearby means using them constantly. That remote flexibility should translate into endless availability. Without intentional boundaries, remote work doesn't free anyone. It just relocates the cage. 2. Availability is not the same as value. One of the biggest myths of remote work is that being online equals being valuable. In reality, constant availability reduces focus, lowers output, and trains people to interrupt you. High earners don't win by replying faster. They win by producing results that matter. If your value is tied to responsiveness, you're replaceable. If it's tied to outcomes, you gain leverage. The trap is subtle. Responding quickly feels productive. It creates the appearance of work, but appearance isn't achievement. Every interruption fragments attention. Every notification pulls focus away from deep work. Every instant reply reinforces the expectation that you're always available. Meanwhile, the work that actually moves the needle, strategic thinking, creative problem-solving, meaningful execution, requires uninterrupted time. It demands focus that constant availability destroys. The professionals who command respect and higher compensation aren't the ones who answer emails at midnight. They're the ones who deliver outcomes that couldn't happen without them. They protect their attention like the valuable resource it is. Being constantly reachable doesn't demonstrate commitment, it demonstrates a lack of boundaries. And without boundaries, value erodes into mere availability. 3. Time flexibility without structure becomes chaos. Remote work removes external structure, but doesn't replace it. And without structure, flexibility turns into drifting. Work expands to fill every open moment, breaks feel guilty, and days blur together. True freedom isn't about working anytime. It's about knowing when not to. The office provided built-in boundaries, set hours, physical separation, visible start and endpoints. Remote work stripped those away and assumed people would create their own. Most don't, not because they lack discipline, but because the cues are gone. Without a commute to bookend the day, work seeps into morning routines and evening hours. Without colleagues leaving at 5, there's no social signal that the workday has ended. Without a separate workspace, the laptop sits open on the kitchen table, always beckoning. Flexibility without structure isn't liberating. It's exhausting. It creates a constant low-grade anxiety about whether you're doing enough, working enough, being available enough. The solution isn't returning to rigid schedules. It's building intentional structure that serves you. Defining when work starts and stops. Protecting non-negotiable boundaries. Creating rituals that signal transitions. Freedom requires structure. Without it, flexibility becomes a trap. 4. The hidden cost of always-on work. The laptop trap doesn't just cost time, it costs energy. When your brain never fully shuts down, creativity drops. Decision-making weakens, motivation fades, burnout sneaks in quietly. You're technically free, but mentally stuck, and no amount of location independence can fix that. The human brain wasn't designed for constant low-level work mode. It needs recovery periods, real ones. Not scrolling through emails while pretending to relax, not keeping Slack open just in case, not thinking about tomorrow's tasks during dinner. Without genuine mental separation from work, cognitive resources deplete. The mind stays in a perpetual state of partial engagement, Never fully working, never fully resting. This chronic half-presence erodes the very qualities that make someone effective: sharp thinking, creative problem-solving, sustained focus. Physical exhaustion is obvious. Mental exhaustion is insidious. It masquerades as procrastination, lack of motivation, or simply having an off week. But it's not laziness, it's depletion. Working from anywhere sounds liberating until the realization hits. The location changed, but the mental cage remained. True freedom requires more than physical mobility. It requires the ability to genuinely disconnect. 5. Create artificial edges to your workday. In an office, the commute created an edge. Remote work removes it, so you have to rebuild it. Simple ways. High performers do this. Set a non-negotiable laptop shutdown time. Block a daily offline window in your calendar. Physically close the laptop and put it away. Change locations after work to signal transition. Freedom needs edges to exist. Without boundaries, remote work becomes an endless gray zone where work and life blend into an exhausting blur. The commute wasn't just wasted time, it was a psychological buffer, a ritual that signaled the workday's end, a physical separation between professional and personal space. High performers understand this. They don't rely on willpower to disconnect. They engineer disconnection through deliberate rituals and hard stop. A shutdown time isn't a suggestion, it's a commitment. Blocking calendar time protects focus and signals unavailability. Physically closing and storing the laptop removes temptation. Changing rooms, going for a walk, or switching activities creates a mental reset. These aren't rigid constraints. They're protective boundaries that make flexibility sustainable. Without edges, freedom collapses into formless availability. With them, remote work becomes what it was supposed to be: liberating, productive, and sustainable. 6. Design for output, not hours. Remote freedom improves when work is measured by outcomes, not hours. Instead of asking, "How long did I work?" ask, "What did I complete that actually matters?" When your day is defined by outputs, you finish earlier. You stop performative busyness, you gain negotiating power. You reclaim time without asking permission. Results buy freedom, hours don't. The traditional work model equates time with value. 8 hours at a desk equals a full day's work. But remote work exposes this fallacy. Sitting at a laptop for 8 hours doesn't guarantee productivity. It just guarantees 8 hours of sitting. Outcome-based work flips the equation. Deliver what matters, and the time it takes becomes irrelevant. Finish a project in 4 focused hours. The rest of the day is yours. No guilt, no justification needed. This shift requires a mental reframe, from measuring effort to measuring impact, from tracking hours to tracking completion, from appearing busy to producing results. Employers who understand this retain top talent. Employees who embrace it gain autonomy. The laptop stops being a leash when value is tied to what gets done, not how long it takes. Time is the input, results are the currency. 7. Separate earning time from living time. The laptop trap collapses life and income into the same space. Escaping it means deliberately separating the two. No work apps on your personal phone. One physical workspace. Not everywhere. Clear rules about evenings and weekends. Scheduled life activities that work doesn't invade. If your income consumes all your attention, it's not supporting your life, it's replacing it. Remote work promised integration. Blend work and life seamlessly. But integration without boundaries becomes invasion. Work doesn't stay in its lane. It sprawls across every surface, every hour, every mental space. The solution isn't rigid separation like the old office model. It's intentional compartmentalization. Designating one spot for work creates psychological containment. Removing work apps from personal devices eliminates the constant pull. Protecting evenings and weekends establishes non-negotiable recovery time. Scheduling life activities, workouts, dinners, hobbies, gives them equal weight to work commitments. These aren't restrictions, they're protections. Without them, income generation becomes an all-consuming identity. Work stops being something you do and becomes everything you are. The goal isn't to hate your work. It's to ensure work serves life, not the other way around. Income should fund freedom, not devour it. 8. Remote work is a tool, not the finish line. Remote work is powerful, but it's not freedom by default. Freedom comes from boundaries, systems, clear outputs, energy protection, and the courage to be unavailable sometimes. Without those, the laptop doesn't set you free. It just moves the cage. Remote work offers potential, flexibility, autonomy, control over your environment. But potential isn't automatic. It requires intentional design. Without structure, Remote work devolves into constant availability disguised as flexibility. Boundaries define when work starts and stops. Systems create repeatable routines that reduce decision fatigue. Clear outputs shift focus from hours logged to results delivered. Energy protection ensures mental recovery, not just physical presence elsewhere. And unavailability, the willingness to disconnect, to not respond immediately, to protect personal time, is the ultimate assertion of control. These elements don't restrict freedom, they enable it. They transform remote work from an always-on burden into a sustainable advantage. The laptop is a tool. It can liberate or imprison depending on how it's used. Location independence means nothing if mental independence is lost. True freedom isn't working from anywhere. It's having the clarity, systems, and boundaries to work well, and then genuinely stop. The cage doesn't disappear by changing locations. It disappears by building better boundaries. You don't need to quit remote work to escape the laptop trap. You just need to stop letting work expand into every corner of your life. Because real freedom isn't about where you work. It's about how much of your life still belongs to you. Remote work isn't the problem. Unchecked expansion is. When work seeps into mornings, evenings, weekends, and mental space, location becomes irrelevant. The issue isn't the laptop, it's the lack of boundaries protecting everything else. Escaping the trap means reclaiming ownership over your time, attention, and energy. It means defining what work gets and what it doesn't. Real freedom is measured not by flexibility, but by autonomy, the ability to fully disconnect and live beyond work's reach.